Hello, everyone. Let's take two. Welcome to My Spiritual Money RX. This is your host, Vivian S. de Guzman, and I am your #1 money magnet activator and your human MRI. So today is a very special show because I am bringing in one of my greatest mentors of all time. Her name is Miss Beth Davis, and she is called Dr. Purpose. Guess what? We met way back when, I believe it was around 2015, 2016, when I attended her event, Gifted. It was Gifted live in Arizona, and I have learned so much about myself, my life purpose, my special gifts, and she's literally my teacher in scientific hand analysis. And now she has combined a lot more information called human design in the discovery of a person's life purpose and their business. She's been published in several publications, including Cosmopolitan, Women's World, and the Los Angeles Times. So let's all welcome Miss Beth Davis.
Hey there. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
You.
It's so great to be here, Vivian. Such a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. So tell us a little bit about you that maybe I haven't still discussed. Well, it's been a while since we saw each other. And so my audience, I'm sure, we're being broadcasted in different platforms, right? Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. What else? Right. There's a lot more. So yes, share with them your genius zone.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to. Well, I specialize really in people having a breakthrough around how they perceive their life and where there's really a strong, did the echo stop? Okay. Sometimes it's Mercury retrograde, so we're going to allow for that. Often people aren't connected to who they actually are because of conditioning. And I am truly in the business of helping people have a breakthrough in realizing their full potential and power. And you do that in your work, right? We use different tools, but essentially we help people see the glory within themselves to create their own economy, to create their own prosperity, to have more fulfillment. Because I see so many people feeling uncomfortable in their own skin, uncomfortable in their own life. And my goal is to help people relax, eliminate resistance, and deeply, deeply fall in love with who they really are instead of who they think they are. And a lot of what we think about who we are isn't correct.
Yes, yeah. I definitely agree. And even for me, when I first met you, I knew I had gifts and talents, but then I really didn't know what they were. So when you first introduced me to scientific hand analysis, that was like an eye-opener for me. And then you added this component of human design, which is so cool, right? So Can you share with the audience a little bit of how did you get into this purpose work using human design, knowing that you are multi-talented in many, many ways?
Back in my late 20s, I was searching for my own purpose, and a friend of mine said you should get your palms read. So I gave in and I got my palms read. And I was so blown away by that reading that I went on to learn a system by Richard Unger called scientific hand analysis. And in fact, I am still studying with Richard Unger. I'm in my second training with him this year. He's the master of scientific hand analysis, and he certified me so that I could certify other people in scientific palm reading, essentially. And I used that tool for many, many years. I would occasionally look at a Kolbe profile, a DISC assessment, the Enneagram. There's a lot of wonderful tools to help people understand who they are. And astrology also is incredibly useful and accurate. And it is real. The scientists out there saying that astrology isn't real are wrong. And I welcome them to a debate. I'm just throwing that out there. If you're watching, oh, scientists, I'll take you on. So these systems are verified by science. Scientific hand analysis is verified because of the number of hands read, and the meanings of the markings do not change from hand to hand, and the 99% accuracy rate. That would make it scientific. You can also teach it to people, and it's demonstrable and repeatable. Human design came into my life probably for the first time about 15 years ago when a friend mentioned it, but I didn't understand what she was saying. 6 years ago, I was having lunch with my friend Christina, and Christina said, "Hey, what are you in human design? What's your type?" And I said, "I don't remember. I think I'm a generator." And she said, "Oh, I'm a generator too." And I said, "Well, what does that mean?" And she began to explain it to me, and it made sense to me. It really and truly made sense to me that as a generator, I'm supposed to behave and respond to life in a certain way to get good results and eliminate resistance. There was something in the way Christina explained it that I had to learn more. It was much like when I first found scientific hand analysis in my late 20s, and it completely changed my life and prompted me to study hand analysis and then go to coaching school and build a business to help people find their purpose. It was a similar moment, although not as dramatic because I'd had that experience, a similar experience before. I knew I had to dig into this human design. When Christina shared it, it was annoying. And so I began to study human design. I waited a couple years until I felt competent and comfortable with it. And I began introducing it in my year-long coaching programs. And that's when I started to notice the almost immediate shifts, breakthroughs in my clients, the way that they were perceiving themselves, the way they were perceiving their value out in the world was radically shifting as a result of knowing their human design. So that is how I came to it, and I've since brought it into the business. And when people first come into our world, if they decide to work with us long term, we both read their hands and give them a human design reading. I've trained readers on our team, and then we have a blueprint for that individual to guide them through their business growth and their personal development. We have a blueprint, a map. We have a circuit board, if you will. And one way to think of this is that the hands represent a map of the brain. And your human design chart is a circuit board or map of your DNA. And when you take those two systems together and you combine them, it is so potent. The hands are very, very detailed and specific to an individual in a way that is beyond the beyond. It is unique. Twins, born within seconds of each other, have nearly identical human design charts. There might be some subtle differences, but they're going to have very similar charts, whereas their hands could be very different. And so in combining these two systems, it's very, very powerful. So did that answer it? Did I
Yes,
answer your question? Okay.
yes, definitely. So, with those two systems in place, and to me that's very fascinating, just scientific hand analysis alone for me is fascinating.
Mm,
And then now you added the human design component. So if I'm a layman and or a business owner, because I have used the two systems in
right.
my practice, it is phenomenal. And it gives you almost like if you're not understood or heard by your parents or the people
Right.
around you, suddenly you're like, wow, now I understand why I'm just such a an anomaly, so to speak, in the family. So,
That's right.
how does someone align their business this time? So, we're going to move it from personal, like reading them through these two systems. How does someone align their business to their design?
It's a great question. Well, there's many different aspects in a human design chart, and there are some specific areas where we can pull information that is specific to business. So, for example, on the right side,
An anomaly, so to speak, in the family. So,
that's right.
how does someone align their business this time? So we're going to move it from personal, like reading them through these two systems. How does someone align their business to their design?
It's a great question. Well, there's many different aspects in a human design chart, and there are some specific areas where we can pull information that is specific to business. So, for example, on the right side of the chart, if you can pull a chart anywhere, go to Google and type free human design chart, and you can pull up a chart. A chart. Uh, on the right side is the personality, and the very first personality sun. And next to that sun, which is typically a circle with a dot in the middle, that's a symbol for the sun. There are 64 flavors of life's work or brand. So there's 64 different types of life's work on the planet, which I find very interesting that it's 64. You also have 64 codons of DNA, which human design understands. And that number after the decimal point comes from the I Ching, and there's 64 hexagrams in the I Ching, and each of them has 6 lines, broken and unbroken. The broken lines into 2 pieces are yin, and the full straight line is yang or yang. And the whole universe is made up of yin and yang. The whole system is essentially a binary. And when we're looking at that personality sun, the gate, one of those 64 numbers, is the flavor. And you can look it up. You can look up what it means. What does gate 12 mean? What does gate 4 mean? Whatever gate you have there. And then the line after it is your role in life, your role, ROLE. So for example, yes, I can happily pull up a chart here. If I can share my screen. Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Okay, I don't know if it's going to bring up the chart. If you want to share a chart, I'm happy to just point things out if you want to pull up your chart. But I'm concerned that I'm not going to pull up the right thing on the screen, as I've never used this particular software before. So anyway, look at your personality sun, and one of those 64 gates is going to be the theme of your business. So for example, I am 7.5. 7.5. Gate 7 is leadership, and line 5 is leadership, also known as the heretic. So I'm the heretic leader. That's my brand. And people would say, yeah, that's you. heretic leader. Now, I had resisted leadership. And many times we'll resist what we're called to do. Now that I know that I'm here to basically be interviewed a lot and interview people, you know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And so it's been very affirming. Vivian, what is your gate in line in your personality sun? Do you have your chart?
I don't have my chart in front of me.
Oh,
Yeah,
hang
that
on.
it's in another. I know you have my chart from the last event, the Team on Purpose that I attended.
Let me bring it up because
Okay.
I've got it here. I can at least look at it across the way. Okay, there
Yes.
we go.
Yes.
I've
Yes.
got I've got three screens going on here. So
Oh my goodness.
okay. All right.
TV
So
production it is.
truly. Okay. So do you still see me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm looking at your chart.
Okay.
So I'm going to scroll down. All right. So your personality sun is gate 54, line 1. How perfect is that? It is ambition. Ambition is what drives you. You are here to be a leader in ambition. And what you do is you use your expertise to build community. You use your expertise in your community and you help people in many ways feel okay with being ambitious. And I've always experienced that with you. If someone said make a list of the top 5 most ambitious people, you would be on it. And one of the things I think you do is
I love it.
you give them permission to be ambitious,
Yeah.
right? Instead of feeling ashamed about it. Or I mean, it's also the drive for continuity, the drive to have money for legacy,
Yes.
right? It's quite a lofty goal. And line 1 is the investigator. So you're here to investigate ways that people can create more lasting prosperity and tap into their deep physical energy to create things that are sustainable instead of burning out their bodies.
Yes.
It's like you're an energy master. It really comes down to physical energy because gate 54 is off the route. So here's the thing about our design. Location, location, location. So when someone finds their personality sun gate, they can look at the chart. It may take them a while if they're not familiar and see, is that gate way up here off the head or is it way down low somewhere? And gate 54 comes off the root chakra, which is the bottom of the chart. And so your personality has this incredible power in it. Like your body has this energy in it and has this momentum that people feel. You're a manifesting generator too, if I recall.
Generator.
Oh,
I'm
generator.
actually a generator, but a lot of people mistake me for the manifesting generator when I bring in the ambition side of me,
Yes.
because they get scared, right, to hit a goal. And in
Mm-hmm.
my business now, my clients are hitting their goals faster than they could ever imagine. Like one client, as soon as she signed up, put a deposit, she signed up a 50K client within 2 days, like fast. And within 2 weeks, she signed up a 7-figure client, like a million plus in
I love
revenue
it.
plus more. So when I said I was a money magnet activator, and then I put number 1, just because I know I can deliver that quick if they're ready. Because
If
I
they're
declare
ready.
energies. Yes, if they're ready, that's the key. If they're not ready,
Yeah.
it can take them a while and they may feel like I'm pushing them, but I'm just providing this momentum for them to just flow with it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really, that
you are the momentum for
yes.
people to have financial success. And that is your brand and your life's work. So
Yes.
people feel that energy from you and they're either going to be drawn to it and excited by it or they will be repelled by it because it's very forceful and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't like shut it off. Even if you sit quietly,
They still
it's
feel me.
it's still penetrating people. And you also have other things in your chart. Like you have the 59-6 channel. So do I. Our
Mm.
energy penetrates people and they either like it and they're
Or
like, ooh, I want to hang out with that energy. Or they're like, not for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like, ooh, not for me, too intense.
Yep.
So that's your brand. So that's one aspect. That's just one thing in the
Yes.
human design chart. And it's a really big thing because our personality sun isn't really for us. It's for the
Mm-hmm.
other person. The design side of the chart, the astro chart on the left, the design, it's called human design. The
Mm-hmm.
design is for the individual. So your design is what's really you. And it's your physical body, and it's how your body's wired to guide you correctly through life. The personality is how you connect with the other person, right? So your brand, like mine is leadership,
Yep.
right? And I'm here to help people have breakthroughs in their own, just leading their own life effectively.
Yes.
You help people find the momentum to achieve big financial goals.
There you go. Money magnet activator. That
It-
works.
It's the right name for you because your human design is a magnet. You are a magnet as a generator,
Mhm.
and you have so much activation in the lower part, like in the lower chakras of your body. Boom, you just pull in opportunity and you know how to show other people how to activate that energy in themselves in their own way.
Beautiful. Does that mean that's why I have the gate of abundance and the gate of prosperity? I have like two
Yes.
gates for the
You
money.
have a lot of money. Yeah, you have a lot of money stuff in your chart. Let me just have a look there. I'm going to just glance at it.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
that. Why do I have these gates? So I activate those in people when I have them, even
Mm-hmm.
if they don't have them. Does that make sense? Is that
It does.
correct?
Yes, it does make sense. And let me see if I can actually share my screen. Shall we try?
Sure. Let's try
Okay.
it.
Let's see if we can do it.
Let's see if we can do it.
Hopefully it won't. There it is. Okay, it's showing me all these options. And let's see what screen. No, it's not showing me the screen. I want
Oh,
to.
can she share her screen?
Oh, yeah, it's not. No, it won't. Yeah, it's
It
not
won't
going to let
go.
me. And
That's
it's because
okay.
I've got this. I've got a new setup today too, so we won't mess with it.
No, don't mess with that.
But when I look at your chart, you have what's known as the 5734 channel, which is pure intuitive power,
Mm,
power plus. 57 is intuition and 34 is pure power,
mm,
and they connect. So you have the whole channel. When someone has the 5734, it's different than even verbalized intuition, which I have in my chart.
mhm,
This is energy that activates. Your
mm,
intuition activates. It's an active power source of it. It's like it's intuition that has energy behind it. It's not mental, it's not verbal. It's intuitive. Boom, you know something. You just know it. And you
mm.
feel it in your body.
Yes.
Right in your sex chakra, like just below your belly button. Boom.
Yep.
You just know things. And then yes, you have the entire prosperity channel, the 214, which connects the G center, which is here, down to the sex chakra, the sacral.
Mhm.
And the 214, when people have the whole channel as you do, you're someone who's guiding humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's guiding
Yeah.
humanity.
I've taken that role already because it seems like I'm like, well, here we go.
Yep.
I'm just open to source, whatever the divine wants me to do at this time. And it's very beautiful when I actually release the resistance because I like to control things in the past.
Yeah.
It has to be this way and that way. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just see where it takes me. So it becomes an adventure ride now for me. Even these manifestations that my clients are getting, like suddenly they have 6, 7 figures
Mm-hmm.
like this,
Mm-hmm.
and I have
Mm-hmm.
two clients now going into 8, 9 figures very quickly. It's humbling. Like for me, it's such a humbling experience to take people through some ride that they don't even know where they're going. And for me, I'm just open to, well, I don't know what God has for you, but here we go. Let's go get it and clear all the blocks. That's me.
Right. It is you.
Yes, it is so beautiful to watch people overcome those money blocks and just become a contributor to society. That was the humbling experience I have. And it's so interesting when they share that wealth with me. I almost feel like, you know how most of us would think I need to buy a new car, a new house, and I'm like, I'm really happy with what I have. So now I start thinking of contribution, like the school
Yes.
of purpose for
Hmm.
children, and just a way to touch humanity in a way that maybe they haven't been seen or heard that way. And I wanted to contribute to the world positively because of that. So
Well,
thank
you
you.
you
I really
are.
feel
It's your
honored.
design.
Yes, yes, yes. I feel so grateful for you when
Mm.
I met you, and it opened up a different world for me, so to speak. And I believe, let's ask before we continue, because there's so many things that I think people want to know. Let's go to the viewer comments.
Okay. All
'Cause
right. Great.
this is a live show, and so they
Great.
want to ask you questions. So
Sure.
let's bring that up. Ah, Catherine Ong, she's one of my clients, said mine is 16.3. I don't know what
Okay.
that means.
The
So
personality
go ahead.
sun. Yeah.
Mm,
Okay. So 16 is talent. And when someone has 16, they they can really master just about anything. Not everyone can do that. But a 16 has magical power. And line 3 is about strategy when it comes to business. Now, it's known as the martyr. And what is meant by the martyr is that sometimes, Catherine, you get blamed for things that aren't your fault. And you've probably gone through a whole bunch of trial and error to figure out what works and what doesn't work in your business and your life. But from all that, you have this tremendous ability to communicate in such a way to gather resources, to gather proper support for what it is you want to create. So, gate 16 is a communication gate, and it's about using your voice in a way that is creative, right? It might be even a bit unconventional, but it's often logical. It's the logical side of the chart. So, there's this logic to your communication. And with Gate 16 being your brand, you have this ability to use communication to bridge many different ideas in your communication, to weave many different things together, and to bring people together from different backgrounds and cultures and socioeconomic experiences to create a collective voice almost. Now, I don't know if you sing, you may or may not sing, but it's like being able to direct the choir and also be the singer in the choir, if you will. So I hope that makes sense. But that's how I would explain that. Do we have another question, Vivian?
yes, I believe so. So
Okay,
we're going to have our production team post that right here, right
great.
now. Awesome. Thank you. That's very interesting. Oh, Catherine said mine is only 2, doesn't go all the way down to 14. However, I'm an alchemist and also here to guide.
Right. So you're gonna need Catherine the 14 to connect with. People without the 14 don't have direct access to the resources, so it's good for you to hang out with Vivian. You know, the 14 connects to the 2. So people with the 2 are always looking for that 14 to activate it. Yeah. Yeah, the sun is the circle with the dot in it on the personality side. It's the very first celestial body, very first one.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Vienna, for that. Amy says, ooh, I have that 14.2 channel too, guiding humanity. I didn't know that. Now you do,
Yeah.
Amy.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at people's charts, the thing that is both sad and also a huge potential is that most people don't know how much potential they have. If you have the 14.2, Amy, like you never need to struggle with money. Like you always have access to everything you need. Now, it might not be a lot, but you'll always have everything you need. And if you take care of that, you're given more. So anyone with a 14.2 is here to create lots of money because you're only here to take a portion of it for yourself, right, Vivian? It's like you take some of the money.
Yes.
for yourself, but it's about creating potentially billions of dollars to benefit society, to benefit humanity. So it is about money and it's about hard work paying off, but it's not about slaving for the money or doing anything you don't want to do. It's about creating abundance that can be shared. It's
Yeah.
like, imagine like the cornucopia, right? And the fruits tumbling out.
Mm-hmm.
That is the 14. It's like that.
Mhm. No,
Yeah.
it's so true because when I started combining your scientific hand analysis, human design, and then I also accessed Chaldean numerology, it was fascinating that the lady told me from the numerologist said, if you do everything correctly before you're 53 years old, you will never have to worry about money in your entire life.
Mhm.
And so before I hit that, even before I hit 50, I'm going to reveal the age to the audience. It's coming up, right? So I was like, okay, I need to figure out what my design is. And like you said, your soul purpose will find you when you're ready. And of course, with all the different challenges, that was just the drama and the story. And finally, it's here. And now it's really meant to be shared.
Mhm.
I mean, do you need that many cars? Maybe for some people, but for me, it's really, that's not what makes me happy. If I
No.
sit under a tree and just bask underneath the sunlight and just the beautiful wind and hug a tree, I'm good. I'm like, I'm that simple. I'm that simple. And so I'm like, what am I going to do with all this money? You actually share it with others because that fear is there for a reason, I
That's
guess,
right.
a condition, right? A lot of programming, and I had to let go of all that. I had to
Yep.
let go of all that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. So I wanted to ask you again, what stops people from really living their truth? What are the things that you've discovered over reading so many hands and even connecting with their design? Like, what is that thing? Like, is there one thing or are there several things that stops
Well,
living
there's
the
always a lot of things, but
truth?
I'll try and share like it depends on the person, it depends on
Okay.
their design, but there are major themes among humanity. So one
Okay.
of the first things is that people often resist learning. Now, I want to be clear about what I mean by this because it ties into the next thing that holds people back from their truth. Life brings you challenges, right? And then you find out, oh, what I'm doing isn't working,
Mm.
or what I thought was true is a lie, or what I thought was true doesn't work for me anymore. It may work for you, but it doesn't work for me. So I give this example that sometimes upsets people, and if it does upset you, you need to take a look at that. I was in Catholic school, kindergarten, when I was 5 years old, and the nuns were very mean and they beat us. And it was very traumatic. I only lasted there 3 weeks and I had PTSD for until probably my mid 40s, just from those 3 weeks, because no one in my own family had ever abused me or called me names or like that. Just, it was like, what is happening? So, in that experience, they often would throw down the threat of hell. And somehow at 5 years of age, I just thought, no, that's not true. I felt it in my body. That I thought that's a lie. Hell is here being with these nuns, and they're just trying to distract us. I know what game they're playing. So I began to examine beliefs. Now, that being said, I've had some serious problems in my romantic life because of huge blind spots around my relationship with my father. And only recently, in understanding that relationship and how dysfunctional and toxic it had been, I was totally in denial. Like, that's just how toxic and dysfunctional my relationship was with my father, and his relationship still is with himself. And this isn't anything I haven't told him. Um, by seeing that, I realized I had to change my mind. And I had to take in the information, as brutal as it was, if I was ever going to have a different experience in a romantic relationship. I had to stop basically dating my dysfunctional father, trying to heal that relationship that got embedded when I was probably 6 to 8 months old. Just witnessing my father's dynamic with my mother and vice versa, right? It gets embedded before were consciously able to say no thanks. Whereas when I was 5 years old in Catholic school, I had a little more bringing power developed, or cognitive awareness, let's put it that way, to understand I was being lied to and that these people did not have my best interest at heart. But the pattern with my father started before I had that opportunity. And so it's taken that much longer to let it go. And I often would encounter times, Vivian, where I thought, is this ever going to end? Am I ever going to break this pattern? Am I stupid? Did I not get the memo? I mean, the amount of tears I shed thinking I was just an idiot who was just damaged goods, who could not figure out intimacy. That's what holds us back from our truth. Is we have repeating patterns, we have addictions, we have beliefs that don't serve us, and we refuse to question them. We refuse to question them. Another one would be, let's say you raised in a very religious family and you discover you're gay or you're trans or you're something else, and your family, because of their belief system, chooses the belief system over loving you. And this happens much more frequently than I can even believe. But that's what holds people back on every level. Is I have this belief over here that is outmoded. It's not loving, it's not generative, it isn't inclusive, it isn't empowering, but I'm going to stick with it because it makes me feel safe. And I'm going to choose my personal comfort and safety over growth, because growth means I have to change my mind. Growth means I have to not only change my mind, I then need to choose different behaviors to evolve as a human being. And so that's why you will find people joining cults, disowning their children over their sexuality, as if their child had any choice in the matter about something like that. I mean, it's a genetic thing, people, like, but there's so much ignorance. And I use those shocking examples because that's part of my design. I'm a heretic. I'm not here to give you the soft sell, folks. I am here to tell you that a lot of your beliefs are destroying you and they're holding you back. So that's the first thing, Vivian, is beliefs. The second thing is all that white stuff in your chart. So if you look at a human design chart, it has all this white in it. The white is where the conditioning pours into you. And the conditioning, we all are exposed to it. We all absorb it, right? And conditioning is constant. The media, school, your parents, your peers, just well-meaning friends telling you, well, you shouldn't do that, and you shouldn't do this, and you should do that, and why aren't you this way, right? We get bombarded with it. We get bombarded with it, right? So we have beliefs that we need to question. So the first antidote to what the two things I just said, right? You don't question your belief system, which is a big mistake. And then you're conditioned with more belief systems that aren't even yours. The first thing is try to be a learner in life. So when things aren't working, it's probably because you don't have the right information. That's all. Then you can let yourself off the hook. Oh, I just don't know. I obviously don't know what's wrong here, because if I did, I would be getting a different result. So I don't know what's going on. I need help. So what do? You admit you have a problem and you seek out support. You hire Vivian. You get a human design reading, whatever it is, you get help. And then the second thing is you start to look at the conditioning and ask yourself, well, where did that belief come from anyway? I mean, have you ever wondered why someone's Catholic or why someone's Buddhist or why someone's Hindu? Is it because they chose it? No, very rarely. Now, it's a whole other thing when you meet a person who decided to become Buddhist, who converted to Judaism, who decided to become Catholic. Like, hats off, right? If you find a belief system that gives you empowerment and makes your life work and you chose it, wow. That's called not being conditioned. That's called being empowered, right? So I'm not against religion. I'm not against people's belief systems unless that belief system seeks to harm, persecute, or diminish the liberties of any other human being. Then I will argue with you that it's a toxic belief system. Toxic. So if you have beliefs that disempower someone else's free will, I would argue it's a toxic belief. Why would you keep that belief? Why would you seek to limit anyone else's freedom? What does that have to do with you? Nothing. The only thing you can control, the only thing you can control are your decisions. That's it. And human design helps you make good decisions so you can live correctly, shed all that toxic conditioning, question your behavior, right? Question your beliefs and fulfill your purpose. So that, I guess, would be the transits right now. They're very Martian, Mars. They're very aggressive. And they're very Plutonian. Right now, we're living in a time, if you hadn't noticed, I'm sure you all noticed, of massive transformation. So if you have any BS going on at all, you will be exposed. And if you keep it up, you will pay the price. Right now, you will pay the piper so hard. So I'm just saying to you, if you have an addiction and you don't knock it now, good luck to you. And a lot of people are addicted to sugar, for example. That's an addiction. Whatever it might be, we're living collectively as humans in a time where you have a little tiny window to differentiate and be yourself. And if you don't seize it, the door will close, game over. And this is no joke. Like, we have about 7 years, and that's where we're at. So Vivian, I hope that wasn't too much heresy for your people, but
Oh no. They get that from me, so now they're getting it double whammy from you. So
you and
hallelujah.
I are like cosmic. We're like, with like most belief systems, you and I just start laughing. Like, why do
Yeah.
people believe that, right? Like, where is that coming from? Yeah.
Well, everything since this year, right, with the COVID and the pandemic coming up, a lot of decisions have to be made. And I thought I was fast and I was making myself wrong initially when I first met you. I'm like, how come I'm so fast? I'm too like this, too like that. When it's really an opposite belief of not good enough. When
Right.
you judge yourself so much about how come you don't
Yep.
fit in, well, I really can't fit in because I meant to be who I am, so I can't fit in. So I have to create my own container, so to speak, to play with the 18 players, so to speak, right? So that became my reality. And so now I'm so excited to bring people to their game, their own
Yes.
reality, right? Because they can touch so many lives positively. And I know that they're all capable if they could
Mm-hmm.
just live that design. So now when I look at the designs, because you've been training me, I'm your student again. When it comes to this human, see, I love learning. So I just love learning. It doesn't
Yes, you
matter.
do.
Yes, I've already mastered certain things, and then I'm like, okay, so how do I apply that to this? And I just like the little pieces of the puzzle, and then I put them together. Because for some people they couldn't figure it out, and I said, oh, that's easy. It's just this, and this. That it. But for people that have a lot of drama, sometimes that doesn't work, right? And you're right. I'm seeing that fast evolution, revolution, and evolution. I mean, I'm literally seeing this. Even my astrologer said that by December 2020, really the whatever it is, the lies, whatever we're feeding ourselves as lies, it's going to come out.
Oh,
And when it comes out, you better be ready. So the more you can expose your own truth, the better right now and live it.
yep.
And it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, some of your relatives don't really like you, right? The real
No.
you, the truthful you. And they have to be okay with it, because when you're okay with it, it becomes just a reflection.
Oh, yeah.
When I became okay with me, then the husband thing got better. It's just because I accept myself fully for who I am, and I no longer. It doesn't bother me if he doesn't accept it. That's fine, but he did, so that changed completely. That really changed.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so happy
Yeah.
for you.
Yes. So that really changed. So I think we got two more questions, because
Sure.
I know there's a few more things that I want to ask you. I'm
Okay.
excited to have you, by the way.
Oh, this is so fun. I love sharing this. You know I do. I just,
Yes,
the idea that people are going to shake that conditioning and grab hold of their purpose is like, oh, it's so exciting.
it is. It is. It's exciting. Okay, so let's bring up some more questions. I think we have two more. Where do I find this information on the chart? Sarah
Great
asked.
question. So when you look at your chart on the right-hand side, it will say personality. And the very first celestial body represented is the sun. It's the very first thing under personality. That's your sun gate. And the personality sun is your life's work or your brand. So it's the energy that people perceive when they first meet you, right? So when people first meet me, they'll feel that sun energy of Leo. They'll feel that leadership of gate 7 and line 5, which are both leadership energies. So people have been saying to me my whole life, you're so powerful, you should own it. I didn't know what they meant. But imagine, they feel it coming off of me, penetrating them, and I have no idea. So that's where you find it. Good question.
Okay, I think we have another one. It's fun, fun, fun. All these questions coming in.
Yeah, I love your setup too. It's so glamorous.
Oh, that's courtesy of my TV producer, KL Jones.
Oh, well, KL Jones, you're kicking it, my friend. This is hot.
She is amazing. Okay.
All right.
Says she's a projector with Sun Gate 14.4, 4/6 profile.
Oh, nice. Okay, so Pam, as a projector, you're here to be an advisor. So you're here to get paid the big bucks for guiding people's energy. You're not a builder like Vivian and I. We're builders, we're worker bees. We like to work. Generators tend to do the same thing over and over until they achieve mastery.
Yep.
Right. So Vivian and I will stay at something until we nail it. Like we're just gonna go like a hamster on a wheel. Sometimes that's what it feels like. But eventually we get there. We're like climbing up the mountain. The projector, no. The projector's sitting in their throne, waiting to be invited to share their wisdom. So it's really important, Pam, that you don't offer free advice, that you don't try to help people, even though you can see what their problems are, because projectors almost always see the truth. That's one of your gifts. You see what's going on. I have talked to no less than 5 or 6 projectors about our current political climate, and they all pretty much say the same thing. No matter what their political ideas used to be, now that they know they're projectors, when I compare their notes, I'm like, ooh, they all see the same thing. And you know what they say? They say, if you don't know who you are in this new future, you're screwed. Right? I bet you know that, Pam. Like you're in trouble. No, you're really not everyone's going to get it. They're going to miss the boat. They're going to miss the boat. And we're going to go into a huge population decline anyway, so we don't have to worry about the world being overpopulated. Your 14.4 is prosperity, right? Now, Vivian has this in her design. One of the other members of the show, participants, has 14. You have prosperity and helping people love their work. So you got to love your work. Like your brand is essentially, I love my work. And line 4 is the opportunist. So when you have the 4/6 profile, you're here to create a community and be a role model in that community. The tricky thing for you is that the stranger isn't much use to you. So it's really important you get invited into experiences from people you already know. So you always want to check in. Did this invitation come from someone I already know? Because if it didn't, it's probably not going to pan out. You've probably had that experience already. But when you know the person, wow, then you're introduced to lots of communities. So if you think about it this way, Pam, there's all these different circles of communities, and you're here to be a connector between all those, like a Venn diagram, right? You're the connector between those communities, and you're here to bring the communities together because they're more prosperous together than they are trying to do it on their own.
Okay, yes, and she is there. So KL Jones says, I'm a 32.6. Is that a
okay?
L?
Yeah, is that your personality sun, L? I'm presuming it is. Yeah. So 32 is about creating legacy. 32 is the kind of person that knows what to keep and what to let go of. Now, what was the number after the decimal? I'm forgetting already. It was 32. 6?
32.6, yeah.
Yeah, 6. So 6 is the energy of the role model. And if you have a 6 there, you're here to be someone that helps people shed karma. It's the energy of the spiritual teacher, that role model position. So you're here to teach people essentially what's really important in life. You're here to teach them to be grateful for what they have and to get rid of clutter, essentially. It's like pruning the rose bushes. And so the rose bushes can really bloom. And it's also knowing, for example, in business, what the business needs to focus on and what it needs to let go of. And you have this tremendous wisdom in you, an instinct. 32 is instinctive knowing about what will last and what is a fad. So you're really good at helping, if you were to have a market, helping well-established brands grow, or to help a new brand not be a fad, but stand the test of time. At least last 25 to 50 years as a business. Let's say 50 years as a business, minimum.
Does that mean I won't retire?
What's that?
Does that mean I won't retire?
Who? We're not talking about you, Vivian. We're talking about her.
But she's my support person. So
Right. Oh, well, it's fine if she does support, but what she can do for you is show you how to not be doing stuff that's a fad, that's a waste of your time. She has instinct for what is actually a priority, what is important for you to grow and leave a legacy. That's her knowing.
Yes.
So I think being a support person is ideal. But it isn't, she's like an entrepreneur, right? She's a leader. So Elle, you're a leader in your realm.
And I'm super grateful for Elle. She really has made this show magnetic.
Yeah.
And all these beautiful graphics.
Yep.
And my goal, I remember when I started this, is I said, Elle, we need to go global and touch these people's lives so that they know a lot of the things I know, these people, these connections, because they've helped me so much. And I want to share that with everyone. Yes, I want everybody to be millionaires and billionaires, whoever watches this show. That's my intention. There you go.
That's a good intention, Vivian. I like that.
Yes. Share the wealth. Share the wealth. There's so much more to go around.
That's right.
So, do you have any more questions, Elle? I think we have a lot more. There goes your generator, bringing people to have these good questions.
Yeah.
Excellent questions.
Yeah, really good questions. Well, it's such a breakthrough for people to know how they're designed. Okay.
Yes. Lauren asked, if you don't have some of the prosperity gates, can we manifest them?
No. No, you'll never have them. But you can't manifest them inside yourself and grow them. No, you can't turn them on and then they're there. No. But you can connect with people that have them and coach with people that have them, hang out with people that have them, and be sure you have people that have them on your team. And then you have that energy in your own aura, and then you get the whole channel, right? You get the activation of it. And so no, like there's a lot of things we just don't have in our chart, and we can't manifest them as individuals, but we can manifest them through our connections with other people.
Wow.
That's why we need other people to be actualized.
Yes.
You cannot actualize completely on your own. You need alone time. You need solitude to heal and to be with your own thoughts and feelings. We all need some solitude. However, you cannot manifest your life correctly in isolation. It won't work.
So is that the number one thing that they should do to actually live their design? Literally to find people, maybe they don't have those gates active, and then hang out with those people? Is that what
Vivian, that's a great suggestion.
Okay.
I think that's an awesome suggestion. I think the number one thing a person can do is live their strategy and authority. And we didn't get into that, but essentially your strategy and authority is how you make decisions from your human design. And when you start making decisions correctly, you move into what in human design is called your signature. And you all might want to write this down. Your signature is what makes you feel good. Yes, folks, the purpose of life is not to be a penniless servant to the heavens. Sorry. The purpose of your life is not to be a poor person who's a good person. The purpose of your life is to be fulfilled and feel good. And when you're feeling good, you don't get sick. And when you're feeling good, you don't get ripped off by people or betrayed by people. When you're feeling good, you make good decisions. Right? I don't mean high. I don't mean high off chocolate or pot or any of that nonsense. I'm not talking about altering your consciousness in that way. I'm talking about you feel happy and fulfilled by the most mundane things in life because you're living correctly as yourself. So that's the number one thing. And the cool thing is you could learn everything about human design. But if you don't start trusting your strategy and authority in making decisions and taking the risk to trust what's inside more than what's outside, you'll never fulfill your purpose. I promise you that. You'll never fulfill it. But if you take your power back and you realize you're the boss of you, that's what I teach, right? Leader.
Yep.
You're the boss of you. I'm not the boss of you. As the
Mhm.
boss of yourself, you begin to have fulfillment because life is not about feeling bad. Life is not
Yeah.
about being depressed. It isn't about what other people think. It isn't worrying about what the neighbors say. It isn't even worrying about what your kids think of you. It's,
Mhm.
are you happy with you? I mean, I don't care what my parents think of me. Not really. I mean, I don't. I mean, I'm very close to my mother, and we've already
Mhm.
talked about my dad, whose company I enjoy in limited doses. But
Mhm.
what he thinks of me is irrelevant because I have to do me. He can't do me any more than what I think of him is relevant to him. Unless he's asking me and wanting my support, it's meaningless. And so I always offer to, especially all business owners, stop giving stuff away for free, stop being of service, stop making yourself available, stop it. Wait. Wait for the right people, wait for the right opportunities, slow down, become patient. And all good things truly do come to those that wait. It's one of the most true statements there ever was.
Because
And when
we're
you
generators. That's why we
You
wait.
have to. And 70% of humanity are generators.
Yes.
37% are pure generators. 33% are manifesting generators.
Mhm.
21% are projectors. 8% are manifestors. 1% are reflectors. Now, those percentages work out in terms of what humanity needs. Humanity needs 70% of people to be builders,
Yes.
only needs 1% to evaluate, 21% the projectors to guide, and 8% of manifestors. Like if we were all manifestors, the earth probably would have been blown up by now,
We're
honestly.
going to be bossing each other around. So
That's right.
we have one more question.
Okay.
One more question. Can you use your hand analysis with human design to fill in where you might be missing that in your design?
No, it doesn't work that way because your hand analysis will tell the same story as your human design. What's missing is missing. You can only get it through being with other people. Same in hands. There's stuff I don't have in my hands, and I can only get it by being with other people. I'll never be able to create it for myself. It's, for example, I do not have the hands of anyone that can build anything. I am totally inept when it comes to just about any kind of tactile thing, unless it's very detailed. Like I can do needlepoint, but I find it boring, so I'm not going to do it. Um, your hands are built for what they're built for. So this idea that we're missing something is bad, you need to get rid of that. You have to accept that what you have is what you have, and that's what you're gifted with and challenged with. That's you. You're you. You're complete as you. And the stuff you don't have, the gift of that is you need to have life experiences that bring in the people that have it so you can experience life, the fullness of life. The fullness of you is available to you right now.
True.
And once you own, oh, I'm okay, I'm enough, I'm just the way I am. Now, what's missing or what's open so I can bring in people to fill that in, right? And have the experience of those things I don't have because I'll never know them by myself.
Yes.
And that's why we feel different with different people. You know, sometimes people get criticized for that. Like, you're different with every person. Well, if you're a very aware person, you're going to show up differently with different people because they activate different things. If you're not showing up differently with different people, you're not paying attention. You're in a belief system about how you're supposed to show up. Doesn't mean you're showing up, right? So, great question, though. What a great question.
Oh my gosh, we ran out of time.
Oh,
Oh my gosh, this has to be a 3-hour show or something.
oh yeah, we should. That would be great. Anytime. We just have to schedule 3 hours.
We'll do that again. So, where can people find out more about you?
Great. If you go to yourpurpose.com/community, it'll take you to my Facebook group, which is called Align to Your Design. And you have to answer the questions to be let into the group. And on November the 9th, we have our 5-day training called the Life Purpose Lab. It is a $1,500 training for free, where we're going to look at your life purpose from your human design, as well as your desk work, which is what you're supposed to do 9 to 5, your business structure, and so much more from your human design chart. So please do join me there. I can't wait to have you. And Vivian, thank you so much for your generosity and your beautiful spirit.
Yours too. I love this knowledge and wisdom that is now being passed on to all of our viewers. So thank you so much. Everybody, please make sure you go to yourpurpose.com. Is that right? Yourpurpose.com with Beth Davis. And
/community, and it'll take
/community. And
my actual website, if you happen to go to my website, it's fine. It's just we're building a new website that launches in December. So, you know, the current website is just very simple, but you can find all the goodness at the Facebook group.
Okay, well, thank you, Beth, for this. We're truly
welcome.
honored, and I'm so glad we're together again for the whole year next year, actually.
I know, can't wait. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you again next Wednesday. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now. And I'm so glad we're together again for the whole year next year, actually.
I know, can't wait. Thank you.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you again next Wednesday. Have a great day. Bye-bye for now.